Good day, ma'am. I am Arabella, Joyce, and Peñaojas from BSCPE2 IF. And this is my programming project number 3. So, for my programming project number 3, the topic that I chose is about household. And the title of my programming project is Household Major Expense Calculator. And for its objective, my objective is to create a program that will show the total share of each member in the household to their every expenses. So let's see my source code. So this is my main program. So I have here a do while loop, and I use a switch case statement in my main method. And also after my main method, I used void method which contains method call and method definitions, and every after my main method I also use the return method, which also has method call and a method definition. So in every case from the main program, there are void method and return method after it. So let's see for its example. So in this void method, in this part, this is where my method call can see, and after that is my method definition for my void method. So in this part, I have my method call for return method, and this is my method definition in return method, where we can see the parameter and the method name, so on and so forth. So codes in source code from case 1 and its void method, in case 2 until in case 8, it also has the same source code. So when we try to run this program, in this area we can see the its title, or how or what or kumpara saan yung program na to. And since from the title itself, below are the major expenses that is inside the source code. So when we input, for example, is the case expense number 1, and it put 1 here and press enter, this will appear. This came from the void method, which returned to the main program. So every computation system and some of the system out print came or happened inside the void method and in return method before it came back here in my main program. So their approach which questions how many are you in household, for example, is 5, and when you press enter, there is approach about how much is your food expense, for example, is 5,000. So there is another approach that will ask in how many months do you want to compute your food expense. For example, is you want to compute your food expense for estimate food expense for 3 months. So it will appear that each of every member in the household will share 3,000 pesos 2,000 pesos for their 3 months expense for food. So since we use the dual statement, once we want to continue to calculate the expense, just press 1 and then enter. Then you will then you will do what you did from earlier. Just enter the needed information, then it will run until you get what you need. But for example is we input can wait. So for example is you nag-input, nag-run ka, or you only want to calculate one expense, just enter 2, since it stated that if you want to try again, just press 1 for yes and 2 for no, since if you entered 2, the program will end. But if you want to continuously compute and you want to know your expense, just enter 1 every after the end of the computation of the expense, so that the program will run until you press 2 if you want to stop. And here, this is where in void method, this is where the computation happen. Also in return method, so since the total in method call is equal to price, so once it return there, it's still the same, so that in the computation in void method, it will appear here once you run the program. And that's all po. Thank you.